You know, a wiser fellow than myself once said that the meaning of life is just to be alive. And that fella was Alan Watts, a British philosopher, writer, and speaker who helped bring Eastern philosophy, especially Zen Buddhism and Taoism, to the Western world. You know, he had this gift for cutting through the noise and saying things that sounded simple until they rearranged your entire soul. And his whole message was that you're not a machine, that life isn't a problem to be solved, and that maybe, just maybe, you were never meant to be anything other than just you. And honestly, when I first read that years ago, I thought I got it. I nodded along, I felt clever, maybe even felt a little enlightened. But I still went right back to trying to become whatever society said I had to be. I had to hustle. I had to prove myself. I had to grind. I had to optimize. And it wasn't until much later when I actually felt those words deep down that something broke in me. And it's hard to describe, but we spend our whole lives chasing this finish line where peace and happiness are supposed to live. And when we finally reach it, we look back and we realize the whole thing was a lie. It was a trick to keep the world turning. And the peace that we were searching for, it was back at the beginning. Because it was you. It was always you. You know, I think that most of us, and maybe I'm assuming too much here, but I feel like most of us feel like something is off with society or the world or people. Like, we're handed this script for life that doesn't quite fit. And if you were handed a script and it worked for you, that's fantastic. But for me, I was handed go to school, get the job, show people that you'll show up and work hard and you'll climb the ladder and you'll be successful, and then what? Then you get to retire in peace? But by the time we realize that the ladder's leaning on the wrong wall, we're already exhausted. And I don't say any of this with any kind of judgment. I still get caught in it too. I'm only human. But somewhere along the way, I just started asking, what if this isn't it? What if the peace that I'm chasing isn't at the end of the road? What if it's right here, in this moment, in this breath, in this quiet little life that I already have? You know, even on the good days, the days when everything should have felt okay, everything was going fine, I still felt like I wasn't doing enough. Like I had to earn that right to relax. Like if I slowed down even for a second, I was failing somebody I cared about, somebody I loved, my family, my kids, somebody, my coworkers, whatever. And I started to believe that maybe I wasn't destined to feel that way forever. And then the guilt would creep right back in the place that I was supposed to feel most at peace. You should be doing more, you should be better by now. You should have a better paying job. You should have a bigger house. You should have 3 cars and a pool. But it got to the point where I'd have a good day with my family. And I'd still go to bed feeling like I let everybody down. Like I wasn't enough. And then one evening, I remember it clear as day. I was sitting on this couch with my family, and we were all in the same room, just watching TV together. Everything was quiet, minus the whole TV thing. I wasn't really focusing on the TV. I looked over and I saw them. And I felt like they deserved someone better than me. Like I was just kind of a placeholder for a version of me that hadn't arrived yet. But in that silence, something shifted. I looked at Julie, I looked at my kids, and I looked around our home. And it hit me. They're not waiting for some perfect version of me. They're already here. They already love me. And, what they really want, what they've always wanted, is just for me to be happy. And it all kind of clicked. And then fast forward a couple of weeks, everything was going really good. And then there was another moment in my life that I'll keep with me for the rest of my life. I'd fallen into another one of my ADHD spirals. I was obsessed with fixing something, my laptop, so I could stream on Twitch again. But one of the ADHD spirals that feels like even the simple stuff is impossible. You can't get it figured out. And I was laying upstairs on my bed, just not in the moment, just totally worried about everything. And Vincent came up to me, and I sat up. And he looked at me, and he said, "I'm sorry you're sad, Daddy. I just want you to be happy." And then that brought me back. Not just to the moment, but to the truth that I had forgotten temporarily. So, I don't just remember what Alan Watts said anymore. I remember what my son said. And that's what keeps me grounded when the world starts falling apart underneath me. So, I started taking it easy again. I put the robe back on. I don't have the glasses with me, but I'd put them on for effect if I had them. I put my certificate of ordination for the Church of the Latter-day Dude back up in the living room to remind myself. Just abide. And not in a lazy way. I still am really bad about making myself sit down and relax if I feel like there's something that needs to get cleaned or get done. But, I remember now that I don't have to force it, and I can just trust the flow. I started listening to my body and just let the day be what it is, letting go of the need to prove anything. And I still slip up. I spiral sometimes, like I said. But I think the answer, at least for me, was I'm not trying to fix myself anymore. I'm just trying to be myself. And it turns out that's a whole lot easier when you stop wrestling with the current and just go with the flow. That's what abiding is to me. It's not giving up. It's not being totally lazy, although there's nothing wrong with taking a nap. It's waking up. It's showing up for your life without needing to control every aspect of it. And somehow, everything got lighter when I stopped carrying the whole world on my back. You know, I used to think that I had to earn peace, that rest was a reward you unlocked after the grind. But what if peace isn't the finish line? What if it's the starting point? I look at my boys now, and they don't care how productive I've been. My stepdaughter doesn't care how productive I've been. They want me to laugh, play, and just to be here with them. So, this is just me sitting on my couch in my bathrobe saying, you're allowed to rest. You're allowed to be happy, even if nothing is perfect. You're allowed to stop chasing whatever you were told makes you enough. Because maybe, just maybe, you already are. Now, I'll catch you on down the trail. And remember, the dude abides. And maybe you should too. Hey guys, LB here, and Snorlax and the rest of the crew. If this helped you slow down at all today, and maybe breathe a little easier, and you can toss a couple of bucks in my toast jar over on Patreon, I'd appreciate it. No pressure though, it just helps me to be able to keep doing videos like this and stay home with my family. Thank you.